So if you go to worldometers.info coronavirus, we get this, where we can see how many cases of coronavirus there are at the moment, how many deaths, and how many recovered. We can reload to get the latest. From this, we can see active cases, closed cases, 9% deaths, 6%. We have graphs of total cases and total deaths. We can have linear axes or logarithmic. There's lots on this page. I'm just going to skim through some stuff. I'm in Ireland, so I tend to have a look to see what's going on here. So there are now 292 cases, another 69 cases today. China at 80,881, but Italy at 31,506, and over 3,500 cases today. Europe is really booming, surging. 11,800 for Spain, with nearly 2,000 new cases. Germany similar, at over 9,000. France nearly 8,000, over 1,000 cases. US with 1,600 today, up to 6,308. In a way, total cases is the standout figure, but we also have total cases per million. So we can order things based on that, where we can see that Italy is on top with an incredible 521. Switzerland is second. Scandinavian countries, so Norway at 270, Sweden at over 100. So Europe does seem to be the hot spot. Though we do have South Korea and Qatar here, as well as Iran. The general rule is supposed to be you have 30% new cases every day. The plan being that by taking extreme measure, you want to reduce this. You don't want to let the total cases grow exponentially and swamp the system. So that's something to keep in mind. What is the percentage of new cases compared to the total cases? I wanted to use my data science, or apply my data science to this problem, to this situation, since it seems perfect for that. We've many countries, we've lots of data. Can we spot which countries are calming down? Which strategy worked? What is the best practice? Fortunately, many people are working on this, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm in Ireland, so we're now at 59 here. Quite high up on the table because there are many countries here. But extreme action is being taken. Schools are closed, pubs are closed, St. Patrick's Day parade was cancelled, which is a major thing in Ireland. So hopefully the payoff for this will be a reduction in the new cases, in the percentage of new cases compared to total cases, which only time will tell. So I had a look. The first thing I need in order to do any analysis is data. Without data, I don't have anything. And here we have APIs to give us data related to Covid-19, many of them. And so we can look around and see which one looks interesting, which one takes me to roughly where I'm trying to get to, so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I had a look at the coronavirus API. So we've got various bits of information here. From there, I clicked on coronavirus, ended up here, and that says that the asset is here, which is actually just a wrapper for this. That's the core information. So if you go to this page, we end up with how many cases there are, how many have died, how many have recovered, how many have recovered. There's also country info for getting data on a specific country, which looks handy. There's also our resources, which are excellent. So we have shiny apps instead of just APIs. So we can produce wonderful plots to see what's going on. So we have based on 3 data sources, Johns Hopkins, and so on, from this shiny app. The code is also available on GitHub. So we could just download this and play around with it. Tune it to get what we wanted. And these look great. That is more what I'm interested in. Comparing corona trajectories, because you can group different areas, strategies, what steps they took, and then group them that way. See whether certain actions made a difference. We also have our packages, so we can just install that package and be good to go. I'd like to be able to produce these plots. Since I'm in Ireland, as I said, I'd like to see what the curve looks like for Ireland. Data repository from Johns Hopkins. That's great. If I have the data, I can analyze it in Python or R and see what I get. So this has lots of excellent content. The URLs are in the description below the video. So here's one of the shiny apps. We can see the trajectory by country. So I can select the countries that I'm interested in and compare them. So let's go deselect all. I'm looking for Ireland. If it's there, oh no, there it is. And what would I like to compare it to? I suppose United Kingdom, another couple of European countries, and they basically seem to be on the same trajectory. Like they all have the same slope. That's interesting. It gives the growth rate. So actually that would be the or that's the number that I really wanted. So Austria would be another country I'd want to compare with. So that's above the 30% level. Belgium's at 23, Denmark's at 21. It's only given 10. Yeah, so it has the whole list there now. And I'm going to do by growth rate, which is great. I just click and it sorts it out. Okay, so where is Ireland? Excellent. It's only 14%. That's one of the lowest in the entire data set. I hadn't expected that actually. Just check what time period this is looking at. Last date 16th. So yeah, so that's quite recent. So I'm actually going to tell my friends about this. It's good to know that Ireland is so low. We can also see this. I just clicked on that from that page, so I have to see what's interesting on this. That's a nice plot. So we can see which ones are the outliers. So Ireland is there, but that's the growth rate, isn't it? So it's the absolute number as opposed to the percentage. I mean, Ireland is a small country. I mean, there's only 4 or 5 million people here. So obviously the number is going to be lower than a country which has a population of 50 million. Worldwide growth, that's interesting as well, because you basically would like to see that this pandemic is under control, that globally it's starting to go down. New cases reported daily. That's by country. This is interesting because we get to see the various different plots, the different visualizations. Because, okay, we know we can get the data, but what am I interested in? In a way, I would say this is what I really wanted to see. In a way, I'd like to see the plot of the growth rate over time. So was the growth rate, maybe 40, 50, 60%, and now after the action has been taken, the growth rate has come down, and there's going to be a lag between the action and it showing up in the statistics, I imagine. Finally, I wanted to see the impact of latitude, because I just felt that I remember reading in a book before about how plants, bugs, a lot of biological things depend on latitude. That if something works in, say, Ireland, it will most likely work along that line. So maybe in Northern America or in Europe, but those plants won't work if you go to the equator or somewhere else. There is a sensitivity there. And again, using the philosophy of don't reinvent the wheel, you can assume that somebody else has thought of that and looked at it. So just typed in longitude, latitude, virus, and I came across this paper. So you can download it. But it has the abstract, where it points out that significant community spread, essentially the virus seems to boom where the average temperature is 5 to 11 degrees. And you basically want to be in the 30 to 50 degrees north band, which Ireland is just in. I mean, it's 54 maybe, but that's something to keep in mind, to kind of go, okay, once we're out of winter and the temperature goes above 11 degrees on average, you no longer seem to have community spread. The flu season would effectively be over. That we should see a dramatic change in the statistics, because suddenly things aren't so great for the virus. It just doesn't like it when it gets too warm. It also doesn't like too much humidity. So you have very specific settings which the virus likes. People are studying this, and we should be aware of that. So we were hoping that once it gets warmer than 11, that then suddenly the virus is losing the battle. And that, when I looked it up on the Met Office, is in May, maybe mid-May, June. That's when it'll get warmer again, and it should help. There's always the question mark or the asterisk pointing out that this is a new virus. This is typically the case, but we don't know. I downloaded the paper, and it's an excellent one, because it has this information, and it has lovely plots. So this worked in China, Iran is in the green zone, Spain, France, Italy, all with large number of people suffering from Covid-19, all in the green zone. And unfortunately, so is Ireland. Some of America, but not all of it. So based on this, I wouldn't expect this virus to do that well in India, we're not seeing large numbers in India. Japan is in this green zone. Japan also has a large number of people with this. So this seems an excellent paper, though time will tell. It was based on I don't know what data, and I'd suspect there's something going on there, but I wouldn't bet on it. We'll see. But I can say now, and this is being, recorded, it's on YouTube, watch out, this is flagged. This is basically saying Covid likes this green band. Covid likes the temperature to be 5 to 11 degrees. It doesn't like it to be too humid, and so on. And it also has this plot telling you why it's saying that. So looking at COVID cases, so small dot being 1 to 9, large circle being large numbers of cases. And we can see that the large ones are all here. Actually, the temperature seems to be okay, slightly lower. Like it's maybe, I'd say from this plot, it really likes it from 3 to 8 degrees maybe. And oh, sorry, I was looking at the left hand side, which is the humidity. The temperature is from maybe 3, 4 to 10 are the really big ones. But anything, where'd the pointer go? Yeah, this is, you can see this more. So and after 10 degrees, maybe 11, we don't really have much action. We don't have that many cases. Or below 0. So this looks to me like 0 to 10 degrees, which would mean that in Dublin it becomes 11 and a half from May. So then if this is a strong correlation, the cases should really decline after April. But the weather can vary, and we don't know. So that's just a new project. I'll try and get in some more content on this topic. It is the problem of the day. If you know interesting sites or have thoughts of things that could be done, please add them in the comments. Crazy times.